I'm going to show you how to achieve a flawless makeup look without breaking the bank. This gorgeous look here was achieved with no luxury brand in sight. Hey, hello guys, my name is Judith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. So to begin, we're using the micellar water. This is from MS Metic. You guys always clean your face. Like I say, you need a clean canvas to work on. For you to have a flawless makeup look, your canvas should be clean, which is your face or your model's face or your client's face. Let that dry. I went into this green tea hydrating spray. This is a setting spray, but it works as a hydrating spray for me. So I apply that. I apply a lip balm on her lips, you guys. Your lip is also part of your skin. So whenever you're doing your skincare, make sure you apply a lip balm. So I use my fan, my mini fan, to make sure that dries up properly into her skin before going into the next product, which is the Zaron Hydrating Serum. The Zaron Hydrating Serum is a Nigerian brand, which is actually very affordable. So I applied that with a brush and went into it with my hand to blend that and make sure it absorbs properly into her skin. Next is the Omari Code Moisturizer. This is a hydrating moisturizer. It doesn't matter if you're working on a dry skin or an oily skin, just make sure your skin is properly prepped. For context, we're working on a combination skin. So next, I'm using the Power Seal, the Oil Control Power Power Seal, which is from Mismetic. It's a sweat and oil control tonic from Mismetic, and it's actually very affordable. This is a Nigerian brand. I applied that on the T-zone, on the nose area, sides of her nose, and places where she's likely to get sweaty. So for all over her skin, I'm using the hydrating moisturizer to apply. This is a primer, sorry, a hydrating primer for Nuban Beauty. Just apply that all over, and I didn't apply a primer on the T-zone. The sweat control and oil control tonic was enough for me. So for foundation, I'm using the Nuban Beauty and the Beauty by AD foundation. I love mixing my foundations whenever I'm doing makeup for undertone, for complexion. I just like mixing my foundations. It just gives me what I want. It's been a long time. I can't remember the last time I actually used just one foundation. So I apply that all over her skin and blend properly. I went one shade lighter because this foundation oxidizes. If you're a makeup artist, one thing you should always know is know your product. So this foundation oxidizes. That's why I went into a shade lighter, because when it oxidizes, it gets darker. So if I went in with her actual shade, by the time it oxidizes, it gets lighter and it looks funny. So for her blush, I'm using my lip palette. This is from the Eye Magic lip palette. I use the pink from this palette. So to contour her skin, or to bronze rather, I went really dark with the contour, and this is a warm shade, so it works as a bronzer for me. So this is from Nuban Beauty. This is a concealer in the shade 49049. Yeah. So I just applied that with a brush and went into my beauty blender to just blend that into the skin properly. So I do that on the other side as well. So obviously, whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. So when I'm done blending that, for her frontal line, like a hairline, I went into with a tiny brush to do that, just to make sure I don't mess the hairline up. So for her nose area, I'm using the same concealer I use for contour. I usually use like a small brush, but on this day I was so lazy and I decided to go in with a big brush. So if you don't know how to work around this, please just use a small brush to do this so you don't mess up your makeup, like take the product to where it's not supposed to be. So I went into the hairline with a tiny brush because I don't want to mess up the frontal, because the hair complements the makeup and the makeup complements the hair. So if you mess the hair up, your makeup is going to look really tacky. So always put that into consideration whenever you are working on the skin. So I still went ahead with a stick foundation from Black Opal Stick Foundation. This is like a bronzer. This is in the shade Beautiful Bronze. So I went ahead to bronze her face further. This foundation used to be 4,000 naira, you guys, but now I don't know. So this is the concealer Nuban Beauty. This is in the shade 042. So this Nuban Beauty concealer dries out really fast. So I like to apply with a brush and go ahead to blend immediately. But if you're fast enough, you can apply all over the face. Though I'm fast enough, but sometimes I just don't like stressing myself, because if I apply all over the face, I will need to rush. So I applied that every other part where I need to, which is under the eyes, on the chin, under the nose area, forehead, and the bridge of the nose. I actually missed that clip. I didn't record that clip. So to intensify the blush, because the contour and the concealer kind of reduce the intensity of the blush. So I went ahead to apply more. So now I'm blending under the eyes using another concealer. I just used my beauty sponge to pick concealer, the same shade I used earlier, the 042, to apply under her eyes. This is just to blend under the eyes properly and any part that has creasing before I go into it with my setting powder. I just use my beauty sponge to do this because by the time you use brush to apply on top of this, it either breaks it or just creases it. So the best thing to do is use your beauty sponge. So for setting powder, I'm using Novan Beauty setting powder in the shade I can't remember the shade. I'm going to leave it in the description box. So I use my beauty sponge to pick it, place it on the back of my palm to remove excesses. Just press it on the back of my palm to remove excesses. This is going to give me a very smooth setting powder application. It's going to help me blow under the eyes properly and not leave any particles or make it look tacky. So just always do that because excess products will ruin your makeup. So just know what you're working with and how to go around it. So after placing that under the eyes, I like to use my triangle beauty powder puff to do that. So because it helps me just place it properly the way I want it to be done. So after doing that, I went ahead with another shade of setting powder. This is the setting Bimban Beauty setting powder in the shade Alabaster. It's lighter than the one I used earlier, which I can't remember the shade. So I just placed that under the eyes as well because I just wanted it to look brighter. I wanted it under the eyes to look brighter. That's why I did that. So if you don't want under your eyes to look brighter, you can totally skip that. So for powder all over her face, I'm using my melanin powder in the shade warm and in the shade medium. So I mixed both together because warm is going to be too dark and medium is going to be too light. So to intensify her blush, I'm using this V Beauty blush palette. You guys, in this palette, I usually use just one blush. I'm going to try to explore other shades, but I just like to use this one pink shade because it just does the job for me. Whenever I'm working on a light skin, I usually like mix it with the orange, but if I'm working on a dark skin, I use just it because I'm a pink blush girly and I love it. So to bronze her face, I'm using this bronze palette from Yanga Beauty. This is a Nigerian brand. I'm applying it just on the highest point of her face, on top of the bronzer, the cream bronzer I did earlier. So just apply that light-handedly. If it's too much, you cannot reduce, but if it's too small, you can always add. So just make sure you don't apply so much. Just build up your product. That's the word. Learn how to build up your product. So for her nose area, I use the same bronze to do that. Time for the eyeshadow. I'm going for a dark base. So I'm using this Beyond Beauty gel liner in the brown shade. You guys, if you're going to be using a gel liner as your base, please just make sure you blend you're done with blending one side before going into the other one. But I am really fast when it comes to makeup, and sometimes I just like to do the whole lazy girl makeup thing that I do this part and I do this part just for it to make it really easy for me. But this dries up very fast. So if you're fast enough to blend the both sides before it dries up, by all means go ahead and do that. But if you're not fast enough to blend the both side, please just do one side before you do the other side. So as like I said earlier, I'm going for a brown base. So I just kind of did a transition with a shade of brown and a shade of pink on her crease, and I went into the eyelid with a brown from my palette, my Juvia's brown coffee shop palette, and I went ahead to blend the transition. So when it comes to eyeshadow, you just basically do what works for you. You just keep building up until you feel like you're satisfied because eyeshadow is not something you say, okay, you have to do this particular color, you have to do this particular color. But though there are rules, you have to learn that okay, this color works with this. For me to do this, I have to transition with this. And when you hear transition, you know that it's light to dark, not dark to light. So just do whatever works for you when it comes to eyeshadow. Just have it at the back of your mind that when it comes to eyeshadow, you have to build up, keep blending and blending because your life literally depends on it. Not like your life too, but the beauty of your makeup depends on how well you blend. So I use a brown to smudge under her eyes, which I always do by the way because I just love what it looks like. Then This is my Luster Cosmetic palette. This is the mint palette and the bougie palette. Is it bougie? Okay, the sugar palette, the mint palette and the sugar palette. So I use the Luster Cosmetic pigment glue. This is like this eyeshadow palette. I just consider it to be like a pressed pigment palette, and it's really really tricky to work with. Trust me, you guys. So this is the mint palette. I'm using this one that looks like silver from the palette, and when I apply it, it does not look like silver. It actually looks like silver, but it looks like growing. That's what it looks like. So I did apply that on the beginning point of the eyelid, and I went ahead with this green. It looks like gold from the palette. When you apply it, it looks like green. That's why I said always study your product. Always study your product. If you're not sure about the particular product, just put it on the back of your palm, test it on your body before you use it on your model or your client. So for gel liner, I'm using a Beyond Beauty gel liner to line her eyes. I did that, and I did that on the waterline after using my Mirac Beauty pencil, the black charcoal pencil, to line her eyes. I just went ahead to just intensify. So for the gel liner I did on top of her eyelid, I just like her lash line, I went ahead to just blend it out. You guys, I did the brows off camera. I have a lot of videos of how I do my brows here on this channel. So just catch it up. I just did the brows off camera because I didn't want this video to be really, really long. But for the brows, I used my OG David's pencil. So for blending under the eyes, taking out the excess powder, I'm using my melanin powder in the shade medium to do that. So if you notice, I keep going to apply and keep going to apply this because I am building up my product. I don't want to pack so much. At the end of the day, it's not working. So I went ahead to intensify my blush again because the blush is just like where your makeup relies on to look good. That's how I see it because if you finish doing makeup and there is no blush, I feel like your face just looks like a wall or looks pale. So for the lip, I'm lining with my Eye Magic lip palette, the brown in the palette, and these are the lipstick I'm going to be using. These are all Nigerian brand, the Sopro, which is the lip gloss, the Luster Cosmetic lip gloss, and the Sopro Zara, the Sopro lip stain in the shade Zara. So I just applied the Zara inside her lip after lining, blend that into the brown. Went ahead with this cream lipstick. This is from Candice Beauty, by the way. It's not Eye Magic. I have an Eye Magic that looks like this, but this is Candice Beauty. Apply the cream on top of the matte. It makes it look really, really yummy. So this is the lip gloss. The first one I applied is from Sopro. The second one is from Luster Cosmetics. I mix both together and I apply it inside the lip and went ahead to just blend that into the brown and make it look gorgeous. That's just the word. And when you're doing your lips, just make sure you blend. I keep saying this: blend. The beauty of your makeup depends on how much you blend. So for setting the makeup, I use this setting spray from Kiss Beauty. It says fixing spray, but you guys, this works as a setting spray for me, and it just works like a setting spray for me. That's just what it does. I let it dry. I use a mini fan to let it dry like 98%. It has to dry 98%. You guys, like almost completely dry. Before I went into it, my beauty sponge. This what I'm doing with this beauty sponge is sealing everything together. This is a cream highlighter, like a cream, like a cream highlighter from MS Metic. It's called like a highlighting balm, like a glue balm. That's just what it's called. So I apply that just little quantity with my beauty sponge just to give the face that glow. So to intensify or increase the volume of our lower lashes, I use my mascara from Zara. This mascara, I love the wand. I love how it just make the your lashes. It gives volume to your lashes. So doing that with my mascara, don't skip the step. This is very, very important. Every product I use in this video are affordable. Nigerian brands or drugstore, which are really affordable. And at this, we've come to the end of this video. No single luxury brand in sight. So if you want to create a flawless look, you don't have to break the bank. Just come to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.